Good evening, race fans, and welcome to week 3 action of the Alpha Touring Challenge. We are joining the drivers live on track during their open qualifying here at WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca, one that I am very much looking forward to. Before we get into all the specifics, though, let's introduce the broadcast team for tonight. Joining us live is Peter. Peter, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Chris. Really love Laguna Seca and can hardly wait to see these touring cars compete.
Yeah, one of my favorite tracks for sure. And I'm sure Pim had a great time creating the cameras for this very scenic, although maybe a little brown this time of year track. But Pim, how are you doing tonight?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Well, we had some interesting racing last night, and today I'm ready for Laguna Seca. And I remember we talked last race about naked aggression. Well, that was in this race where we saw Bajulaz being very aggressive. So I'm curious to see if we're going to see that again, or are we going to continue with that same driver that we saw last race in Sebring?
Love the naked aggression. Love to see more of it. In the meantime, though, let's go over really quick here. It does look like we have set the grid for the first race. And what do I mean by that? Well, tonight is a heat race set up for the evening, I guess. We're going to have two 15-minute heats followed by a 30-minute feature race. So 3 races in total. And we've got, let's see, no pit stops really for the first 2 heats, but as we go into that third race, that final race, that's going to feature at least 1 pit stop, and we're going to invert the top 4 from the final results of the second heat. So there's a lot going on here and a lot of points to be rewarded, so we'll try to walk people through that as we go. But first things first, we've got 1 heat race coming up with Wojciech Swiatovic on the pole.
Of course, I wanted to say nearly. Like, that guy is so quick. But also next to him, George Zuniga from Mexico, 5/10 behind him. And then, of course, the Slug back onto the track. Last race didn't end well for him. And I do see that they're going along. Matt Zepka, 6th position from that Torque Racing. Let's have a look later on team racing, because there is a lot of team racing in this league, which I personally always really appreciate. But let's let's have a look at that start, because they're gonna go right now over here.
Things happening really quick.
We have a great
we have some time over here.
Yeah, 36 drivers, and so this is a pretty big track. You know, it's 2.25 miles, but that's still going to be pretty crowded for this many cars.
Well, and they're already off over here, and we see immediately Wojciech Swiatovic, of course, in that first corner, but immediately George Zuniga.
Oh, going 3 wide!
Oh, and we do see Zepka going around over there, but he can hold that car, and he can actually hold it onto the track, so maybe he can still do something, but that is a lot of time loss and position loss especially. But that's happened in these races, especially here in Laguna Seca.
Yeah, in fact, you know, he qualified in P6, but he's fallen back to P17, so he's got his work cut out for him. He absolutely has pace on the drivers ahead of him, but this is not the easiest track to find passing opportunities, and so we'll see what kind of progress he makes.
Great battle happening a little further back here. P8, Cody Hundley and Jerome Bajulaz here, actually carrying a whole train of cars here, not just Jerome, but look at these guys are going to go side by side all the way up.
Yeah, we see here in the front again, it's Bajulaz with Hundley and Carr and Method. Stroll is going in there. They're all going in. Oh, we see a big accident happening. But again, they just straighten out each other. That was Stroll going round, but they can manage to keep it. And this is just the lap 1. Look at this. Wojciech is in the front. Slug is really moved up to that first position. 1 position up from where he started. And yeah, we have a really racing group heading over there to that first.
Let's catch our breaths.
Yeah,
wow.
Holy cow. These guys put on a heck of a show already. And mind you, this is just race 1 of 3. And that was actually kind of, you know, Matt Shepka coming off a great finish there. Unfortunate incident in turn 1. Losing a few positions, but he's still got 2 more races to look forward to. So, you know, being able to collect yourself mentally and realize that there's still a lot of racing left to go here this evening.
Yeah, I do.
Drivers want to go on.
I am not sure if Bajula's heard what we said in the introduction, but that naked aggression is actually coming out right now. He took that 8th position, is ahead of that little group, and now needs to make sure that he can actually catch up on that 7th position from Bauer. We're in lap 2 of 50 minutes. How many laps are we going to do, Peter? Roughly, do you know that?
Well, it's about a minute and a half per lap, and so we should expect, around 10 laps, in this 15-minute heat, and so we'll see what actually happens. But I think that most of these drivers.
Sorry, we've got 3 wide action going on in P24.
Yeah, and we do see that, and that's the difficult part in that corkscrew, where Randy Ruggles goes in quite nicely, but Kurt Smith had some issues. Although he did come out as first in that group. We see Kotlowski behind him, and then Blondel is taking a position from Brenner. Nice fight over there going into that last corner, and we do see that Brenner actually overtakes Blondel, and that position is for him. Great to see him improving every race again. So
we are starting to see Wojciech Swiatovic in the lead, starting to pull out a sizable gap of over 2 seconds on P2.
Yeah, P2, but P2 is a quite nice fight with George Zuniga. Look at this, side by side going in here.
Oh, and T5 is very dangerous. It's slightly off camber as you come around. It's so important to get a good launch going up this long uphill section. And then one of the most dangerous corners right here, turn 6, is almost flat out in these cars. And you have to hit it, the apex just perfect.
Look at this, Francois Schenk is going now into Logan McKenzie for that 4th position. They're going side by side over here in the corkscrew. Logan McKenzie is a little bit wider and can take that outside, but that means an inside line over here. Very tight line, but Francois Schenk is not there yet, and he is actually going to make that move over here. Great. And now Logan McKenzie needs to wait for Wally, because is he going to be ahead of him as well? Wally is going to go for that under-over ride over here. Oh, look at this. There goes Logan.
Wow, amazing. He was able to save that, only losing 1 position here, maybe 2, as Jerome tries to make his way around.
Yeah, Jerome is just saying, you know what, I'll take that one, and goes up to that 7th position. Fighting hard with Logan McKenzie over there. But Logan keeps it clean and goes right behind Bajulas.
Boy, we'll have to worry whether Logan McKenzie suffered any aero damage on the front of his car from that contact. He looks okay right now, right on Jerome Bajulas' rear bumper there, and so we'll keep a close eye on that.
And let's have a quick look. We see the slug now really already 3.5 seconds behind Swiatovic, and I don't think they're really going to worry about that. He's only looking in the back for position number 3. Zuniga is really close, but also Francois Schenk is not done yet in this heat. If he comes back, that could be a nice fight over there, but I don't think we're going to see Wojciech Swiatovic ever again.
Yeah, Pim, there's a nice battle brewing for P16. Jeremy Lepanis is in P16, but he's being hotly pursued by Jonathan Stroll, who's just weaving back and forth, looking for some opening, some way. And the 2 of them are trying to chase the 4 cars ahead of them, consisting of Alex Carver, Justin Rose, Sean Gard, and Matt Shupka.
Yeah, Matt Zepka is now really looking in the back of Sean Gert, trying to see if he can do that overtake. As you said earlier, Matt Zepka does have that speed. Torque Steer Racing is really moving along, and maybe he can get a little bit of benefit of that fight that goes ahead of him. But he will have a long way to go up to his original spot. He's currently in 15th position, 9 spots from where he was. Somebody who does it really well, David Bauer on the 6th position, 5 positions up from where he started, only 5 laps ahead. And he's really in a fight with Bajulas and who is that?
Logan?
Is that Logan? Oh, that's Logan
yeah,
right
Logan.
in the back over there, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's a nice
great,
couple.
David Bauer, our hard charger, like you mentioned, they're up 5 spots already and really leading this group and seeing if he can't go get to the rear bumper there of Jerome. But these guys really putting on a show for that top 8 position there. a little further back. I mean, this foursome of Carver Robbins, Rhodes, Gerd, Shepka. I mean, this is going to be one to watch.
Yeah, well, I'm actually watching the 25th right now. We see Blondel and Kotlowski really fighting hard for position 25. I think it's so funny to see that, like, even 25th position, it's the honor that you want to have over here. You need to move forward. So Kotlowski is doing that, and we see Brenner going off over there. Is he coming back?
That dangerous turn 6, and if you just miss the apex even by just 1 foot, that's exactly what will happen.
Good on David Brenner, though, to collect the car there. He's only going to lose a couple positions and no contact, so he will continue on.
I do see in the chat we have Daniel Sedeno. I was missing him already on the track, but had some other things to do. But glad to see that he's still watching. Want to see, of course, how he does. And oh, David Brenner goes off again. David, this is not dirt racing. He does a really good job on dirt, I think.
He does, yes. Trying to bring those skills to Alpha Touring Challenge, but probably not the right. Oh, and we got another car wide here. That's going to be in P10, I believe. Nope. P11 now, James Carr.
Yeah, we
having a great battle there with the Cody Hunley.
Really
we have Alex Koslowski having gone off track out of the Andretti hairpin. Ray Bartnikowski is now catching up. Ray has just passed Travis Buchanan. Yeah.
All right, number 27, Ray Bartnikowski. A little bit further in the back, but guys, the front, we do still have that fight going on for position number 2. Zuniga has actually passed the slug over here, and now they're just waiting until Francois Schink and Jacob Wally actually comes back over there. That's going to be an interesting fight. Maybe we don't see Svidovic over here anymore, but this is going to be an interesting fight. Who's going to be on the podium?
Right then,
we got David Bauer, who was our hard charger, going down pit road. Not sure what happened there.
Very interesting. And I'm trying to see if there's some damage there. I'm not quite sure that there is. I'm not seeing any damage.
This seems the one thing that you don't have to do in heat races is actually going into the pit. So I'm not sure what that means. We do see still the fight over here. The Zuniga is really getting comfortable and is actually trying to run away from the slug. And Francois Schink is right behind there. How is Bajulaz doing?
Well, Jerome Bajulaz is running in P6. He's hotly pursued by Logan McKenzie right now. And, you know, I think the two of them, I don't think they're exactly working together, but they are slowly making up ground up to Jacob Wally running in P5. And so we'll have to see if they're able to keep that up.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at Justin Rhodes at 12th position. In front of him, there's a big fight going on there with Carr and Carver for position number 10, but he's trying to get back onto that as well. But a crazy battle going here into the corkscrew.
Yeah, I don't know if the viewers can really appreciate what a roller coaster ride it is to come down that corkscrew. The earth just drops off away from you when you come down there. You can't.
Seca has a really difficult time here with Rhodes, and Rhodes is going to take that Alpha is going to be next to him. They're going to go side by side. Metsepka's going in early, trying to block off that exit, and does that really well. There's no way for Rhodes to come by on that.
That was beautifully done. So Matt Shepka, you know, after that lap 1 mishap that dropped him to P16, has worked his way up to P12.
Look at that. That does mean that we have no worries for Heat 2 because he will get a lot of opportunities. A little bit, yeah, I do see that the first group is getting a little bit bigger and bigger. I see that just while Wally actually crashed in the back. Not sure exactly what happened to him. Do you guys have any idea?
I think he just got a little bit slow there going up into the corkscrew and slammed on the brakes pretty hard, but I did not see him actually take the car off the track there, so it looks like he'll be all right.
I do think he has a new livery. I like this one a lot. And we do see a little bit of separations. The one time where we don't see any separations is for position number 11. It's basically that whole group till Stroll, Gert, Laplane, Stetzer and De Jeu are in there, I think.
Yeah, Justin Rhodes, I know we got a fan out there watching him for P13. He's up 4 spots, having a great night so far.
But we see Stroll going in again. Someone goes into the pit. What's happening over here? We're 12 minutes. We have 3 minutes left.
Interesting choice. Not like your NASCAR races where you can pit early and get those tires on. Everything's going to reset. So, yeah, interesting to
well, if you do
find out maybe what happened
good racing in ovals, then come and check us out that Sunday morning, the BRL, the Bonfire Premier Cup. I love that race.
So back in P22, there's a crazy battle going on between August Blondell and Kurt Smith, and they just went side by side around the turn 2 Andretti hairpin. August Blondell has so far held on to the P22, but Kurt Smith is just looking left and right, just making sure that there's a lot of his car in August Blondell's rearview mirrors.
And a couple guys we haven't had a chance to talk much about yet, but Jake Ashe in P29 carrying David Bauer, who had pit previously. We called that out, and Spencer Cockane there holding on tight. These guys trying to go and catch up to David Brenner. Let's see if David Bauer can make his way around Jake Ashe.
Well, it seems like he's fighting hard for it, and looks like he takes that position. But immediately Cockane thinks, you know what, I can do the same thing, and also actually has that part, and it's so difficult to defend. And then going into the corkscrew.
Oh, and Jake's going to take advantage of that. Oh, my goodness. Spencer, yeah, really trying to force the issue there. That's going to give Jake a run and let David Bauer kind of go clear there. Let's have a quick look at
Logan McKenzie, guys. Logan McKenzie and Jerome Bajulas are going side by side. Let's have a look if we can see how that goes when you go into these races. Look at that. Still side by side going into that corner, and Bajulas looks a little bit on the exit very, very nice. Does that really, really smart. And now Logan McKenzie needs to find another overtake.
No! We got Alexander Carver-Robbins off track. He was battling with Matt Shepka. Lost it there. Although once again, no contact. Oh, man. It's
amazing how less of damage they actually get, and how good they can keep those cars at least a little bit clean. All right, so that fight for position number 5 with Wally and Bajulas is now heating up a little bit, but we are actually getting to the finish line. Without seeing that, we see Heat 1 will be finished by Wojciech Svidovic on the first position. Then after that, we see George Zuniga, and then Slug. François Schink is getting it just before Jacob Wally, and then we see already Bajulas, and we do see that Cody Huntley actually overtook Logan McKenzie, which was a little bit weird on that end. But are there any fights in the back that we still need to go look at? The position number 17.
Yeah, so our Padiar is right now locked in a battle with Ray Bartnikowski, and it looks like Ray is going to take it, and Trevor Lepenis over Padiar as they come across the start-finish line.
All right, so...
Holy cow, you blink and the race is over. I love the heat racing. But
yeah, heat racing is a little bit different than our normal standing. Let's have a quick look. Everybody's parking their car, trying to get ready again for that second race. That went really quick. And in the end, you do see that Svidovic is in the front. How unexpected.
Yeah, so we're followed by Jorge Zuniga and the Slug. And of course, now they will have the top 4 finishers inverted for this next race, this next 15-minute heat.
Yeah, so we see
Well-
Francois Schink taking that first position. Then the Slug is coming in next. And then George Unega and Wojciech Swiatovic. So it's the top 4 that actually has that inverted.
Yeah, so I misspoke there. I thought that was just for the future. Invert 4 for this one, and then the top 8 will invert. So keep an eye on that finishing order for this heat, because the very next race, which will be our feature, the top 8 are going to invert.
That was a costly place loss from Logan McKenzie. He could have gone a little bit better. Needs to fight now. Has Cody Huntley next to him. Then Jerome already on the 6th position. I'm curious to see, is Jerome going to do even more?
Yeah, and once again, one thing we'll have to watch out here is it's again only a 15-minute heat, and so this is again incredibly short. These drivers don't have a lot of time to set up a pass if they want to make up some positions.
All right, so we're starting again very, very short. We see the sun going down. I love that view. Francois Schink in that first position. The Slug right behind him, and they're immediately going off. I think Francois Schink is going to make a long run out of this. And the Slug and Zunega are fighting for that second position. Right behind them is Wojciech Swiatovic.
This Andretti hairpin is incredibly treacherous on cold tires, but these cars should be pretty warmed up by now for the second heat, so we see them coming through pretty aggressively.
Yeah, really using those doors to good effect, and these cars seem really stable. Obviously, I had not had a chance to race them yet, but I love how these guys can make some contact there and still keep the things pointed straight. That's a great benefit here. Look at this back here in P14, P15. We're gonna go 3 wide, 4 wide almost, trying to make it 4 wide. Big accident.
Of course that can't go well. Immediately a lot of people went off. Or did a lot of people went off? I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I think Eric Statzer really got the worst of that, but I think it started with Trevor Lepenis, and who lost a couple positions but is maintaining speed.
Well, everything for the views, and I do have to say that was a spectacular move. 4 wide in that corner. I haven't seen that one yet. Wojciech Swiatovic moved up to that 3rd position, but Francois Schink looks quite confident in that 1st position.
Yeah, he's really starting to pull away a little bit, 0.89. I'd say that's a bit of a gap. But he's got some fierce competition there behind him, so
yeah, we do see
certainly.
Position number 11, 12, Matt Zepka is fighting hard in that first corner right now.
Yeah, really trying to make up for that race one, lap 1 incident spin there, and making good use of it so far. He's right where he started, but in good position to hopefully pick off a few more spots here, but not if Justin Rhodes has anything to say about it. We're going to go side by side. And these guys, for the folks who don't get to race at home, I just got to say, it's easy to yell and do all that when they wreck, but man, these guys are really putting on a show here with their skill, being able to race side by side like that. That takes a lot of effort, a lot of practice.
Yeah, Matt really had to compromise his line in that all-important turn 6, and that's caused him to lose a lot of momentum and some positions here. It's so important as you start on these uphill. We have to remember, these are only 4-cylinder race cars. They're the same kinds of cars. They're based on the same platforms that you and I can own, and we go to the grocery store with. They've been souped up a little bit, but you still need to carry a lot of momentum out of turn 6.
We're looking currently position number 18. We see 20, Joe Thomas completely going off and really missing the track. A little bit more people are doing that, but not as far as he did. And Thomas is really going all the way back to 30.
We got way more cars off the track.
Patier. Yeah, Hawkane also went way off, also at that rainy curve. And in fact,
right around that same area,
unfortunately.
Well, as we're looking at that, I just got to say, Schink back to 3rd position now all of a sudden, and Wojciech trying to take first away. it seems like we looked away for just a hot second, and quite a shake-up there for the podium.
Yeah, we'll have a quick look if we can see that coming back.
Jurjevic gets incredibly sideways and is now passed by both Francois Schenk and the Slug, and has fallen back to fourth place.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
How
let's have a
dare
quick
you
look.
try
I'm
to
gonna-
show us a replay?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a quick look. What exactly happened over there? Francois Schenk took that position really nice, but also I have to say, great move from Wojciech Swidovic that he can actually hold that car with that kind of slide.
Yeah.
All right, we're back live. We're not gonna move anywhere. Zuniga in the front, Francois Schenk on second position, but the Slug really closing in right there. Is he gonna have a look, or is Lisi gonna have a great exit for him? Guys, we're having some questions about temperature on the track. Do we know how hot it is?
It is fairly warm.
Yeah,
Yep. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, sorry. So I've got Fahrenheit, 96 degrees Fahrenheit right now, as is the track temperature. Ooh, and we got two cars around, second and third. Francois and Slug. Or no, wait, who was that?
That was David Brenner who went off.
David Brenner.
And at the same time, Jake Ashe went off in Rainy Curve out of turn 9.
Oh my gosh, but we're going to be going 3 or 4 wide here for the lead. Trying to at least.
Look at that. They're really fighting. This is a big fight, but that only helps George Zuniga, who's on that first position, because he is running away from that rest of the group.
Indeed, I think this side-by-side battling behind him, he's got to be super happy about that. It's really slowing down the Slug, Wojciech Swidovic, Francois Schenk, and Jacob Wally.
Holy cow. Well, it looks like everybody's going to get a little sorted here. I don't even remember what replay we were going to go back and look at. I don't even know where we were looking at. I thought these were battles for the lead. I didn't know what the heck was going on. So, let's see. There was another one that I was looking at here.
Incredible battle for P25 between Sean Gerd and Joshua Thomas. Joshua trying to make the pass, does it for a moment, but then gets repassed by Sean Gerd. Boy, they are nose to tail as they come through turn 11 back onto the front straight.
Ooh, we got Randall Ruggles off track. He's going to lose a couple spots, 3, 4, 5 now, maybe one more.
So which position is he driving?
Yeah, sorry, P22 now,
Worry, because
and
we're looking
he's
at,
going to give
number
him
2 right now. Wojciech Swidovic is going really hard for that second position. Is he going to make that move? This is so difficult to be in that inside, and he can't do that. Really? Oh, he actually did do that. The Slug couldn't hold that. Wow. Nice move, because that's so dangerous. And I have to say, guys, the night is falling. Are we going to do a night race? I didn't know that this was a night race.
Yes, indeed, the feature will be at night, and this is a dark track with no reflectors on the edges, like Sebring, and no
So
very
we're
little
basically
lighting.
going to see all these black cars just driving around. It's going to be awesome for our viewers. But currently do pay attention, because Wojciech Swidovic is on that second position. I don't think the Slug is going to hold it. I think the Slug needs to look out for Francois Schenk on that third position. They're really battling hard, and I think they are going to make a move before this finish line is coming up.
Hey, can I call you
Just keep in
down
mind-
to the action for P14? JB Dejoux, Wiley Cox, David Bauer, Aaron Law. Boy, they have been battling like crazy, and they've been side by side. They've kind of sorted out as they go up the hill, but or down the hill now to the Andretti hairpin. But man, they've been going at it, all vying for that 14th spot.
Keep in mind the top 8 will invert, so really that front pack is a pack of 8 with James Carr basically at the caboose position right now. So you got to wonder if maybe he's happy to hold that, or if he's going to try to force the issue. Although, of course, as soon as I say that, it looks like he's going to look to the inside of No, Bajulaz there. But yeah, all these drivers are going to be inverted here at the end of the day. Now, that being said, Justin Rhodes actually looking like he's making up some time, carrying Ronald Metha, Matt Shepka, and Cody Hundley along with him. Keep your eye on that gap, 1.8 seconds or so right now.
You know, the viewers can probably see there's not much grass here. It's all desert sand. And if you ever try driving here, the minute you put a couple of wheels on that sand, you really lose a lot of control over the car. And I think we're seeing that if they get a little bit wide. In fact, Jacob Wally, just outside turn 6, has gone off and doesn't seem to have sustained any damage, is back on track.
Does look like Randall Ruggles and Travis Lepanis both got caught up in something in the corkscrew and will jump to the pits almost simultaneously. So both of those drivers down and getting a tow to pit road right now. Not 100% sure what happened.
Yeah. So now we have the situation at front. We have Jorge Zuniga, who has a pretty healthy lead of almost 2 seconds over Wojciech Zveredovic, but Wojciech Zveredovic now has pulled out about a 2-second lead on the slug. And so that 1, 2, 3, Jorge Zuniga, Wojciech Zveredovic, and the slug have really spread themselves out.
Yeah, and of course, in between there, you see Brenner also driving in there, trying to follow Zveredovic. I'm curious to see if that's going to have any impact on the racing.
Indeed, as they come down to the final corner, turn 11, it's a little tight hairpin.
Yeah, and Wojciech Zveredovic does have some issues, but I think David Brenner gives enough room to let them pass over there. Really a great spot. Great ownership of driving of the car, but David Brenner is actually fighting back over there. Look at that, and didn't expect that, and I don't think Wojciech Zveredovic was expecting that. In the back over there for position number 3, how is it going, Peter? Francois Schenk.
Yeah, Francois Schenk and the slug are in a pretty tight battle, and you know, it looks to my eye like Francois might have a little bit of a pace advantage over the slug, but not enough to make an easy pass. And there, with only 3.5 minutes left in this heat, he's got to be feeling a little desperate there. And of course, they all have to worry about Jacob Wally, Logan McKenzie, Jerome Bajulas, and James Carr. Yeah, that's a big train, and none of them want to fall out or risk falling out of the top 8.
Well, there you go. The top 8 are starting to. I may have spoken a little too quickly there originally. It does look like the top 8. Oh, but James Carr here in P8. Man, they're just.
Whoa, look at this.
Oh, we're going to be bumping and banging.
Jerome Bajulas, the naked aggression has come out and is now in a big fight over there with James Carr.
Boy, and Jerome Bajulas really got the worst of that and has fallen P8, and he's in danger of falling out of the top 8. He's being hotly pursued now by Justin Rhodes, who's smelling blood there.
Yeah, he's effectively right now sitting in that pole position, and Justin Rhodes is like, yes, please, let me, let me in.
Well, that answers our question earlier, Pim, about whether these drivers would be strategic and be vying for the pole position by trying to stay in the 8th position in this race. I think they're not. They're trying to finish as high up as they can.
No, and look at Justin Rhodes on that 9th position. We were talking about it. He is ready to actually go into that kill and get that 8th position, which would give him the 1st position in the next race. Matt Seca behind him is in a big fight with Cody Hundley.
Yeah, every position counts here. If you're not in that top 8, you really got to. They're going to get restacked as they finish. So all these drivers trying to get the little last few positions they can as the time starts to tick down here in our second heat.
You know, it's not just Justin Rose, but also, Ronald Method. Both of them, I think, are just hunting for that 8th position. It does look like Jerome Bajulas, though, is starting to pull out a little bit of a safer gap. And we'll have to see if he can hold it for this last minute of this race. What should be the last lap of the race.
Yeah, Vijay Svrdovic, it's getting closer and closer, but I don't think it's enough. Where he really needs to push, I think that 4th position from Logan McKenzie, that could actually still be an interesting fight. And it is also a team fight, so I'm curious if Logan McKenzie is going to make the slug really difficult, or are they just going to work together?
Well, this battle for P5 here, Pim, with Francois, Jacob, and James. This one is going to come down to the wire, I also believe. They're a little spread out now, but man, these guys have been looking to almost be going 3 wide here quite a few times. Jacob Wally trying to hold off James Carr into as they head up into the corkscrew.
As you get up to the top of the hill, right at the entry of the corkscrew, the cars get so lightweight. You're just cresting the hill. Boy, what a roller coaster ride that is. They then just plummet down the corkscrew and into the rainy curve.
Yeah, and here we see
do have the checkered
George
flag
Zuniga
waving.
is going to the final lap. It was very close, but Vijay Svrdovic couldn't get by, and Zuniga is celebrating it on a very eccentric way. I actually thought he might crash. I've seen him before, but not George Zuniga. Took that 1st position like a master, and the slug actually took that 2nd position. 4th position was for Logan McKenzie, our former champion up here, and then Francois Schenk, Jacob Wally, James Carr, and Jerome Bajulas, and Matt Zepka's 12th position. So he's trying to come back, but a little bit further than we normally expected him. So what are we expecting right now, guys?
Well, I'll tell you what, as I'm watching some of these great battles here coming around the last final couple of corners, I have not seen one successful pass on the final turn there, turn 11. So what that means to me is I'm filing that away to understand that I better make that pass happen way earlier than that. Maybe later break into the corkscrew if you really want to send it or whatever, but it just does not appear that anybody's got anything for the final couple of turns. And yeah, this is going to be really exciting. We're going to invert the top 8 now for our feature race, where we're going to award a lot more points for the season standings. And let's see if the top finishers can now work their way through just a few more drivers to get up to the front.
I'm a little bit. I do think we're gonna wait, and we're gonna give the drivers a little bit of time to actually relax and to make sure that they get the right strategies up there. Maybe it's a good time for us. Am I right in that, guys? Or are we immediately starting?
Yeah, no, it looks like we got a 10-minute warm up here, so I'm good with that.
Right.
Oh wait,
well let's have a quick look at the driving standings. Is always, of course, important in these races, and a lot of things already happened in those first races. So we do see the Francois Schenk is still in that 1st position, Jerome Bajulas on the 2nd position, and there we see Matthew Zepka on the 3rd position. Really, really great from him. 62 points. And then Logan McKenzie, Coley Hundley, Aaron La, 6th position, 6th position right over there. Has to share that with Wiley Cox. And then we see Wojciech Svrdovic. Wojciech Svrdovic, who had an terrible incident in the first lap where he actually just blinked out and his computer didn't work anymore. So still has to work with that. Of course, they have some drop weeks, but I'm not sure how that's working. And Daniel Sedeno. Daniel Sedeno, who's looking in our chat right now and says, hey, you know what? I was 9th. Well, you're not going to be now anymore, because in the chat you don't score that many points. So we'll love to see you back on the track very, very soon. And then at last is the Slug and James Carr on that shared 10th position. But this is not the only part that they're doing. We also have those team races. And I always like team races. Chris, what do you think of team races?
Yeah, it just adds so much to it, and it, when you are able to think about something greater than yourself, I know that's getting probably a little deep, but that's really what I enjoy is that camaraderie and having somebody to root for, even in your own series. So really awesome to see the teams and in the matching paint schemes. I mean, you gotta love those too, right? That's great. I see a lot of those out there, and yeah, great stuff, man.
Yeah, and we do see the current team standings that Torque Racing, Steer Racing is taking the lead over there. And I know that that's Matt Zapka, Jake Ashe. I know that it's out of my head. I think it's Ray Bartnikowski.
Yeah, and Aaron Law.
And Aaron Law. So that's really our Sunday Night Skippy team. I don't mind that they call them Torque Steer, but for me, that's the Sunday Night Skippy team. So great to see them on the first position. Second position is Beaver Buzz. I know that Bajulaz is in there. We've seen his car, and I think John Lozar. But again, John Lozar is in the chat, so I'm not going to score many points over there. And then we see on the third position Yellow Flag Motorsports. That's Logan and the Slug. Just with the two of them, so we'll need to work very, very hard if they want to keep up that second position. And then we have the Blueback Motorsports, Gasparilla Motorsports, QZ Motorsports, a lot of motorsports up here. But I like those kind of things, the team matching. Peter, we did that in our PRL races, and for me that always gave a lot of extra dimension.
That's right. It actually adds more motivation because it's almost like you are more motivated not to let your teammates down than you are worried about your own standings and your own results. You just want to pull it through for your teammates.
Yeah, you have your accountability buddies. That's what I call them.
So we do see some people just testing out their equipment, testing out the last things. Jake Ashe driving over here, making sure that his car looks good, and it does look good. It's very difficult to see because we're going fully dark over here now. I love that those changes, but it's a bit difficult to see all the cars, I have to say.
Well, this is a track that's not like some tracks, around the world, like Daytona or Road Atlanta, where they have some lighting around the track. Here it's mostly dark, and so these drivers will be counting on their knowledge of the track and what they can get with their headlights. But Pim, you love headlights.
I love headlights. More headlights, better headlights. And why Peter says this is that we always, when we have to choose a car, I think that's my criterion. Does it have headlights, and does it have the biggest headlights? And that's why I choose the car. So
there you go.
And it's solid, I have to say. The Lambo was a great choice.
The running lights on the Lambo are fantastic, by the way. Yeah. Love that. But I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that the fans are gonna have to just trust us on who's where.
Oh, that will be a nice one. Let's make sure that we at least get the finish line in order.
I've never driven the track in the dark. When you come up to the corkscrew, you're cresting this hill. The car is very light, and then the track drops off, and so you can't actually see the track or the apex when you turn in. And so there's an big old oak tree that you aim the car at in order to know which way to go. And I'm worried. I've never tried driving this track at night. I'm worried about whether you can actually see that oak tree at night.
Well, it's funny that you say that because we do have Brandon in the chat, and he's actually mentioning that he loves the headlights on the screen, but he says in the booth they look great, not on the track. And I can imagine that. Maybe we can have a quick look if we go actually take a drive with one of the drivers, currently Jake Ashe. And this is what you see in the pit, of in the car. So now it's still okay, but now we're going into the dark areas of this track. And it is really difficult to see your exits and to see where you need to brake.
Well, and it is still dusk. It's not quite night yet.
It ain't over till it's over.
On the edge.
And by the way, shout out to here. Now this is the entry of the corkscrew. Now on the left, you can see the ground just drops off. You have to find your way. Whoa, I guess you can see the tree, but you're going to definitely want your headlights on.
This is going to be exciting. And a shout out to Brandon in that 24 car. He's talking about struggling, but man, awesome to see him out there and putting in the work for some road racing.
Absolutely. And these are great cars, I think, to get initiated into road racing. You know, they you can see they can tolerate some door banging, some.
Well, Peter, that's exactly what I liked about that first lap when you saw Matt Zepka going off, and then he just comes back. Like if you try that in a Ferrari or in a skip, and you will be gone. Or even in an oval race, we've seen many accidents in an oval race, and immediately everything's over. These cars are really solid.
Well, I'm looking at, like the Brandon Sheltons and David Brenners of the league here. These guys have a Bonfire Racing League Premier Cup race coming up in a couple weeks at the Charlotte Roval. So this is probably all, at least practice. In some small part, in preparation, for exactly that. And we'll probably see more of the same there. But that'll be a couple weeks from Sunday. But at any rate, this is, oh my goodness, I can't believe gorgeous views here, but must be very difficult for the drivers, and this is not a show and go style practice track here. You gotta know what you're doing.
Boy, it is getting darker and darker.
I'm really curious what we're going to see in that first lap. Are we going to see the same thing as those heats?
And Daniel Sedano brought up a great point, and John Lazan chiming in. Great point. They have to pit on this one, so you not only are you racing, but you have to come down pit road.
Actually, let's talk about that, because the pit entry lane here is tight and has an exceptionally dangerous left-hander where even professional IndyCar drivers have spun many times. And so you have to hit your marks perfectly on this pit entry lane.
Yeah, we're currently driving along with Ronald Mathot. And I think he's a GT driver from Bonfire. Love that paint scheme of him. Let's have a quick look how he does in those different circumstances.
As he's coming around this all-important turn 5, you can see you have to hit this perfectly and get as much momentum up this long hill. And then really the most dangerous curve right here, turn 6, almost full out in third gear. And then you come up and you have a long time to think about the danger of the corkscrew right at the crest of the hill.
There you go. Yeah, it was explained to me early on, back when I started road racing, or attempting to at least. Everybody talks about the corkscrew, but that turn right before that you're talking about, Peter, that turn 6, that little bit of a kink, like that's the one that's gonna get you.
And that's the funny part. That's a different thing of people who are just driving for the first time, or the real people who have been practicing this track. That corkscrew you can learn. The other one is so difficult, and it's so easy to overdrive it and to end up there in the grass. I wish it was grass. It's sand over there.
Right.
Or maybe that's better. I'm not 100% sure. But just for this race, we're getting started again. Jerome Bajulas is on that first position. James Carr second. Jacob Wally, and then Francois Schink. Logan McKenzie fifth. The Slug sixth. Wojciech Swidovic seventh. And then George Zuniga, the eighth position. And then, of course, Justin Rhodes, one of my favorite drivers, especially his style. I like it. I have no idea where the cars are, by the way. I'm just looking at a black hole.
I think, being a pilot, Chris probably has the sharpest vision of the three of us, so we'll count on him to pick him out.
I'm just going to make stuff up here. No, it is... I think my lighting here is probably... Oh, no, never mind. I got the stream up. Yours looks pretty good. I'm not sure why the sand is glowing at the moment, but it seems to be working for us.
Well, it seems to be working for us. We're going to have an interesting race going on with Jerome Bajulaza on that first position. And I think he is immediately going away right now. James Carr is on that second position. And Jacob Wally is already getting passed by Francois Schenk on the inside. And look at that, they're already pushing. So
Oh my gosh.
this is going into that first turn. And look at that. It doesn't matter that they can't see anything. They're just going to continue with a hard fight over here. And it looks like everybody continues in that first row.
Oh, we got contact.
David Bauer
goes-
and Spencer Cockayne both have had some issues. It looks like Spencer Cockayne has been opted to start from the pits, possibly. Boy.
No, we see two wide going everywhere. I don't know who it is, but I think Jonathan Stroll actually overtook right over there. I see Jacob Wally is passing James right now for the second position. Look at that there. It's crazy up here.
Do you really see it?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well, and going side by side through turn 6, we just talked about this, fellas. Come on, man. These guys are going crazy up here. We got James Carr taking second, Jacob Wally. We got two going 2 by 2 by 2
It's
down
Logan
into the
McKenzie
corkscrew.
and Francois Schenk banging doors coming into the corkscrew.
Oh man, I'm looking outside of the corkscrew, but everybody seems to come out quite nice. I'm not sure what happened in the front, but on the end, everybody is single-minded. I do see a big fight going on with Rhodes, who is taking over that position, but Badulas is making a mistake. Badulas is dropping back over here.
I wonder if I think Jerome Bajulas had a slowdown and had to give up positions.
Great, I was already
That's
worried that he's
fairly
going to run
possible.
on that first position only, and we didn't see
Right.
anything of that naked. Oh.
And Wojciech Srojovic has made a pass.
Oh, there
Oh,
goes.
big contact!
Yeah, Francois Schenk and
Big
Jerome
contact.
Bajulas.
The slug went off over there. Look at that. The slug really got a big hit.
Wow. Yeah, the slug and yes, it was the slug and Francois Schenk. Both.
Wow.
Caught up in that. So those are two of our leaders who are now just in the
All right, let's have a
serious.
quick look exactly what happened over there. We saw big things. Oh, he hit a cone and I think it got stuck on him and he couldn't brake anymore. Although I did see we did have some issues with the stream as well. So maybe there is also a little bit of an well, how do you call that? A network connection problem.
Oh, yeah.
But we do see currently. I don't see anything. I just see dark, and I see James Carr on that first position fighting with Jacob Wally.
Yes, and then Wojciech Srojovic has worked his way up all the way. Oh, we have something happening in the corkscrew. Looks like Spencer Cockayne or Wiley Cox, I think, has an off, but hasn't hit anything. Is back on track. But Wojciech Srojovic has worked his way back all the way now to P3, followed by Logan McKenzie and Jorge Zuniga.
Holy cow.
Jerome Bajulas has fallen to 6th place, followed by Cody Hunley in 7th.
Now we do see for position number 15 or 14 actually, Blondel and Gerd are fighting hard, and I think Blondel just took him over there on to the straight. Gerd is trying to come back, but needs to look out because also Thomas and Desjeux are right behind there. And actually, what is happening behind there? Because that's a big pack of drivers going in there.
Yeah, they're going to be going 3 wide there into turn 1. Well, into the Andretti hairpin there, it looked like. And it does get sorted, but holy cow, these guys fighting tooth and nail.
Yeah, and while you say that, we see Logan McKenzie fighting hard with Zuniga for that position number 4. They need to make sure that they don't fight too hard so that they can actually follow up with Vijo Svidovic, because Svidovic and Wally are actually running away. But Logan McKenzie is not done yet because Zuniga is coming on that, is defending. Oh, and they make contact.
Oh!
But Logan is strong. Logan keeps it over there. Look at that. Really, really well done from Logan McKenzie on that 4th position. Normally you cash out over there, but he just holds on to that 5th position.
Boy, that was a Romain Grosjean IndyCar move right there. Romain did exactly the same thing in his IndyCar race at this track last season with
Love
the
it.
same result.
Well, let's give it up to James Carr, leader of the race right now. I will say it's been a minute since it's just good to see James Carr in the lead. We'll just put it that way. And Jacob Wally in second place.
And
Although
he
Wojciech is really...
Yeah, look at that. He's holding off on Svidovic. And I do have to say, James Carr, I think he's relatively new to this league. I'm not sure. I'm like the noob of the league, but he does really well this season. Last race was really good, and now on that first position, hopefully Wally can actually hold off Svidovic for a while. But these
So
three
back in,
are already
back in P10, there's a great battle brewing for P10 with Jonathan Strahl, Matt Shepka, and then Alex Carver-Rhodes. And it looks like Matt Shepka is just seeing some good pace there. He's come right up, I think even touched the bumper of Jonathan Strahl. And so we'll want to see if he can do something as they come up to the quarter crew here.
Well, Jonathan Strahl up 9 positions so far right now, so Matt would be well. Oh boy! Holy cow! He had a much better run off.
Wow! So they're going to be exchanging paint for a while here. It looks like
they like each other's paint schemes so much they just want to share.
Yeah, we do see that Jacob Wally and Wojciech Svidovic has really come very close to James Carr. He needs to worry, and he needs to start looking into his back mirror.
Yeah, the battle for the podium positions here definitely heating up. They got a 3-second gap or so back to 4th. And let's look back here a little bit further. P17, P18 rather, P18, P19. We're going to go side by side down through the corkscrew. Or I'm sorry, that's not the corkscrew. See, I don't even know where we're at. It's way too dark. That's the Andretti here.
But I know that the slug, yeah, he needs to push a little bit harder to actually get through that traffic. Van Schink is right behind him. So that's going to be an interesting couple. They are now 19th and 18th and 19th, but they need to work that way up. Is it possible for them to actually come a little bit higher up in the list? What about Ray Bartnikowski, 13th position? He's a little bit in a no man's land, but I think it's a good result for him, 13th position.
Yeah, but I want to say about the slug and Francois Schink, they look like they're driving mad right now. And they are working their way back up the field pretty quickly.
Peter, I don't think you used the right terms. What was that about aggression?
They were driving with naked aggression.
All right.
That's right. That's right. And I cannot wait to find out what exactly happened there. But because look at this, JB Dejoux trying to hold off the Slugnificent here and not. Oh, man, that's going to be tough. It looked like a weird incident where I think it was Francois just kind of slowed. I'd have to look at it. Ooh, man, look at that. Look at that over-under by Slug. He is driving angry. Holy cow.
Right. Let's do this one more time while they're going into
they're bumping and bagging.
Fight. We're going 3 wide.
Oh, and they're going to make contact again.
It's not the day of the Slug. Look at that. Slug holds it, but loses so many positions that he was just working on. And while we talk about that, maybe we can have a quick look. I'm going to try to see it. Please don't have too many overtakes right now, but we're going to have a look what the Slug happened. Let me have a quick look if we can see that. They went into that last corner.
To be a fly on the wall at the stewards meeting this week. Holy cow. I can't even imagine.
Nah, it's too dark. I don't have it right now, and I don't want to miss too much up here. How's James Carr doing? Is he holding on?
Still holding on. Although, I mean, they've been close this whole time. It doesn't look like anybody's making any sort of progress necessarily.
I'm curious about Wojciech Svidovic because we know that he has the pace, but he's sitting there on that 3rd position. I think he's happy with this part, knowing that Zuniga and McKinsey and Bajulasa are behind them. They are coming a little bit closer each time. How's Rhodes doing? Rhodes, where is he? Rhodes is in the 8th position. 1 position up. Cody Huntley is right in front of him. He is actually 4 positions up right now.
Yeah, having a great race right now. He's got Jerome Bajulas about half a second ahead of him, and yeah, seventh
Oh,
spot. Oh, we do have
Jacob
a
Wally.
new
Just quick
leader. Yep.
update. Looks like Kurt Smith had a wreck
No,
in
Peter.
turn 11 and is in the tow.
Jacob Wally actually overtook car over there, and immediately Vijay Svidovic is also taking that position. What exactly happened, Chris?
Yeah, that's that. Let me go back and look at that. It does look like he lost a lot of momentum, and that just let obviously Jacob and Wojciech go right by him. Let's see if we can't get a quick look. Somebody was dragging a cone. These guys are taking out cones. Yeah, I don't know. It was yeah, just going up the front stretch there,
There wasn't not much going on. Maybe a slowdown or
or maybe not
anything
the front
in that
stretch,
way. But currently,
Yeah.
Wojciech Svidovic on that second position, 4 tenths behind Jacob Wally. Great to see those drivers here in the front. We haven't seen them much in the front, but they are top 10 drivers. Don't get me wrong on that one. Logan McKenzie, 5th position, 1.5 seconds away from that first group. Is he gonna come any closer?
And that is tough. This is a uphill battle,
Yeah,
literally,
and I'm looking a little bit
for all these
further,
drivers.
in the front, in the back, we see Matt Zepka fighting with Ray Bartnikowski, and on the 10th position, Alexander Carver-Robbins. Nice battle over there.
I'm also looking at the battle for P6, Jerome Bajulas and Cody Hunley. And they've had a couple of close nose-to-tail contacts. They're coming up the hill right now, approaching the corkscrew. And, they're really just fighting tooth and nail. And, that P6 position is pretty valuable points-wise.
Well, I don't know how much longer Jacob Wall is going to be hold on to the lead, because look at Wojciech just right up on his bumper there, and he's going to look to the inside.
Oh, and we do see the first
We do
people
have our
coming
first
in.
pit stop, James Carr. Yep. Although Wojciech will take over the
All right,
lead
so we're
along with
driving
Jorge,
along-
bringing Jorge with him.
Look at it. We're driving along with James Carr in the pit stop. You can't see anything. You can't see anything. Let's have a quick look if we see another driver going in. Let's give me a detail. I want to see how that pit entry is, because that's going to be dangerous. Wojciech Svidovic on that first position right now, because Jacob Wally actually lost position.
James Carr, Joshua Thomas now coming to the pits, Kurt Smith coming into the pits, Jake Ashe coming into the pits.
Well, Jake Ashe is gonna do an Ashe up here and see if he can make that undercut work.
And this is definitely not the most treacherous pit exit on the circuit, but definitely one of them. It definitely dumps you out there at the exit of, I guess it would technically be, yeah, turn 2. And so, yeah, blind corner there, definitely not going to help. This is going to be very interesting as we see some competing pit strategies.
I always
Right.
love to see it when people are flashing their lights. We had a discussion about that in our team meeting in our Sebring. Like, that is never a good idea. It's never that somebody thinks, oh, you just want to say hi or something positive. It's always like,
That's correct.
oh, are you doing this? But currently we see Jacob Wally keeping that third position. I don't see anybody going into the pit. Oh, I do. Ray Bartnikowski going into the pit.
And Matt Shepka as well.
Yeah. Teammates there, that'll be good. And
Well, you gotta be glad if that's over and you can focus on just driving, because that's an extra difficult thing up here. We do see Wojciech Svidovic is still in range of George Zuniga. You would think that Wojciech would drive away, but Zuniga is biting hard and trying to hold that position. Both are 6 positions up in this race.
for further back in P7 there, Pim, we've got Ronald Method and Justin Rhodes battling. Justin Rhodes having a great, actually both these drivers having great. Ronald up 3 spots, Justin up 1 so far in this heat. Just a lap previous, it just looked like Ronald was able to get a much better run out of that final turn going to the start-finish line, and was able to overtake. We'll see if Justin can't hang on to that one of those final top 10 positions.
It does look like the drivers have finally found a little bit of clear space around them. They've spread themselves out a little bit. Maybe one exception to that is Travis Lapenas and David Brenner in P20, or in the battle for P20. They've been nose to tail a little bit. Looks like Trevor's just playing a little bit of a more comfortable gap now. But otherwise, the drivers have gotten themselves spread out a little bit. Of course, once the drivers who haven't yet pit, things might clump up again. But right now, since drivers are on different pit strategies, we've got a little bit of clear lap for everyone. Up front, Wojciech Swiatovic is starting to pull away from Jorge Zuniga. Is about a second and a half up. And Jorge about a second and a half up from Jacob Wally running in third. Logan McKenzie right behind him in P4.
Yeah, Logan McKenzie has just really moved up his way and is now really holding on to Jacob Wally. Curious to see if he can make something interesting. We're only 16 minutes into this 30-minute race, so anything to play for. And all these guys still need to go out. Logan McKenzie again trying to make... Or no, it's actually Jacob Wally who loves those lights and is... I'm not sure what he's trying to say with it. Because he has nobody's in front of him who's like, yeah, you're slow.
Just, sometimes you just get bored, or maybe
we do
he...
see Wojciech Swiatovic going into the pit. Wojciech Swiatovic, look at that difficult corner where you need to nearly stand still to actually come by. He does that really nicely, goes in very, very nicely, and is now looking for his pit stop. Will probably be one of the first ones, and here he goes in.
And followed by Jacob Wally as well, also in the pits with him.
And Jonathan Stroll is now getting in there, and we thought Jonathan nearly hit that wall, or he did hit that wall. I couldn't see it, luckily for him. But that does mean that Jerome Bajolas is currently on that third position again.
Yes. Jorge Zuniga in the lead, Logan McKenzie in P2. So now we'll get, hopefully, as Jorge and Logan Jerome come into the pits, we would expect that to happen with the next couple of laps. We'll get a sense of where they all stand.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at the pit stop timings. If we see that, then Wojciech Swiatovic is the quickest one on the track currently. Not only in the timings, but also in that pit stop strategy. 7.6 seconds he was standing still. So he is really pushing his limits.
Yeah, keep an eye right now. The final driver who has not pit is Francois Schenk in P10, and so Wojciech just behind him in P11. Obviously, the leader of the drivers who have made their pits.
Yeah, and James Carr is also going into the pit now. So that means that Logan is gonna keep running. We see Ronald Medhot is coming in. So this is going to be... Oh, Ronald is hitting that wall over there. Like I already said, it's such a difficult pit entry.
Yeah, boy, I'll have to try it at nighttime sometime. It's a challenge in full sunlight. I'm not sure how they're coping with this.
Oh, poor guy. Yeah, this is tough. It's I don't know why they decided to. It's almost like they added an extra little turn in there, even though it was completely unnecessary.
Well, and we're seeing
I suppose.
George Zuniga now getting out of the pit, so he has done the most difficult part of this, and that's those pit stops. I'm curious if Logan McKenzie, when is he going in, and is he going to be able to make a real difference with his pit stop strategy?
Yeah.
No, he's coming down the corkscrew now.
Oh,
So
we see Wiley Cox has crashed. And I think that's going to be the corkscrew, if I look at it correctly. Yes, he missed that corkscrew, goes into the sand, and then crashes out. Hate to see it.
Logan
All
McKenzie
right.
is staying out at least one
And
more lap.
Jerome is coming in.
Okay.
This is Cody Hundley.
Yeah, so Wojciech Sredovic, Jorge Zuniga, James Carr are coming down the rainy curve, coming down to turn 11. So it looks like all three of them have a very good chance of maintaining their leads over Jerome Bajulas, James Carr, Cody Hundley, as Wojciech Sredovic crosses the start-finish line and easily maintains his lead after this first round of pit stops. Oh, and it does look like there's been a crash out of turn 6. Eric Statzer and who is it? Adrian Fedorowski. Yep.
Fedorowski, yeah.
Oh, and Eric Statzer has sustained enough damage that he's in the midst of a tow. Adrian Fedorowski seems okay and is back on track.
So big fights for position number 14 currently going on. And right in front of them is now Cody Hundley getting just in front of them for position number 13. And immediately needs to fight with Francois Schink. That's not what you want to do when you come out of the pit. Has to give up that position and is going off track over there. Is he able to hold it? He is able to hold it, but also lose a position to Blondel. What's going on, guys?
Sorry, Logan McKenzie did come down pit road, but I can't tell who that was, but he had a much faster entry than a driver that was ahead of him, and he nearly took him out. So, yeah, again, I'm not sure who that was, but Logan McKenzie probably a little frustrated with that pit entry there. Any sort of time he was hoping to gain, definitely out the window at the moment. There's Wojciech Sredovic coming across the start-finish line as Logan McKenzie remains. Actually, he's getting out of pit lane now, but
Yeah, this is
Boy,
very,
what
very.
the-
Oh, and he hits
under-
that wall. Look at that. He hit that wall when he went on the exit, Logan McKenzie. So I think a
Yeah.
little bit still frustrated about what happened to him in that pit stop. And now he needs to fight back, but he still has a chance. We're 8 minutes left in this race, and he is just about from James Carr. So anything still to race for.
Yes. Jorge Zuniga has really closed the gap up to Wojciech Sredovic and is now only 0.35 seconds behind. And in fact, it's closing up as they come around turn 5 and is getting a good run going up the hill.
Oh, look at that. Wojciech Sredovic has to work for his money, and great job from George Zuniga doing that. And I think it's pit stop strategy, but also he was paying attention what Wojciech was doing the whole time already. And that pays out for him right now. James Carr behind them for 3 seconds. And then it's Logan McKenzie. It looks a little bit like Logan McKenzie can't hold on to James Carr. Curious to see. He needs to push now, and he needs to push hard if he wants to get there. A little bit further back, Jerome Bajulas, 56th position. Also not really holding on to Jacob Wally.
oh, we got a great move here coming from P14 down into the corkscrew. We see Cody Hundley really trying to get around August Blondell. He's been poking and prodding. Oh, he's going to move him just a little bit. And that's going to leave the door open for Slug to sneak on by.
Of course, the Slug will take benefit of that. Cody Hundley does get some messages up there. We do see his new livery. I know that he has a new... has finished the transfer to a different sponsor and is now glad to drive in this new great livery. But he's currently 15th position, and the Slug in front of him. Well, that's not bad. Maybe he can go up a little bit more and see if there's any chances to come into that top 10.
Oh, Brandon
P9,
Shelton has crashed
P10.
in the corkscrew, and Randall Ruggles in the rainy curve. And so
All right,
Randall has
P9,
been-
Ray Bartnikowski and Matt Zepka. are fighting, but actually it's Rhodes that is taking
Rhodes,
it over
yeah.
there. Wow. My favorite driver, Rhodes, in that Alpha Tauri.
Yeah, gotta love this battle. These guys have been going at it, man, and very evenly matched drivers here. And look at this. This battling is allowing Jonathan Stroll, Alexander Carver-Robbins, Francois Schrink to all make contact once again. So this is quickly becoming an amazing battle here for P9.
Well, and if they're not careful, the slug is just lurking behind, having passed Cody Henley.
And while we say that, we do see that Schwarzenegger actually put up the fastest time of this track, 1:31.3. Of course, has a lot of benefit just driving behind Vujek Swiatovic. Curious to see if he's going to make a move, or is he just going to be happy with that second position. I can't imagine that, but it's going to be so difficult to actually pass Vujek Swiatovic.
Well, time is running low. There's only a little more than 4 minutes left. Next time around, they'll probably have only 2 laps to go in this race. So.
Wow. Well, then there's going to be some work done for the Slug and Francois Schrink, because they're getting really, really close. And Francois Schrink is getting into the attack mode of Alexander Carver for the 12th position. He's going to have a quick look, but he can't make it right there. And nice fight in the front of that. Of course, Rhodes taking a position of Stroll on that inside. That's easy to defend, and we do see that Rhodes is taking that 10th position. But immediately we're going back.
Comes right back.
Oh no, we're going too wide in this one. That can't go well. Well, it can go well, but really nice move of them. And immediately Rhodes drops back to 12th position. And needs to worry, because I think we're not done. Francois Schrink is also looking in there.
Catching right up. The slug now is caught up to this. Just all that battling has allowed him to do this.
This is easily the best battling we have on track right now. Oh, Justin's going to go just a little bit wide there. Man alive, I do not know how they keep these cars off each other.
Door banging is happening right now over here. Look at that. The slug is now passing Francois Schrink, and they're hitting each other. It's getting off. The gloves are getting off. And they are really making clear that they're not friends on the track. They want to pass each other. Francois Schrink will go a little bit on that outside. And look at that. He pushes it in. But the slug keeps hold of that position. Great move.
Forget about gloves. This is like iron knuckle.
Yeah, you bring your weapon of choice here, man. This is amazing stuff here, and I want to make sure that Ronald Method and Matt Shupka get their due. But I mean, just the amount of drivers back there battling gives them the upper hand here. But that battle for P7 is heating up, and it does look like Wojciech Swiatovic is starting to kind of pull away. Unfortunately from Jorge, just able to maintain now, but. I do think that this battle for P7, and then what we were just watching here, Justin Rhodes hanging on to P11, trying to catch back up to Jonathan Stroll. Man, what a great that top 10 position. I don't know what it is. 10th, 11th. I know the points difference isn't that much, but there's just something about a top 10 that just hits different.
The one thing, Wojciech Swiatovic cross start finish line. Fast enough time to extend the race by 1 more lap. So,
the slug will be happy
lucky for us,
because he's trying to make a move on Alexander Carver in that last one, and like Chris was saying, it's not working. You can't make a move over there. You really need to have that long straight over there, and he's trying to do it there on the outside. Is he going to make a move? He is going to make that move. He's taking that 12th position. Can he hold that? No, look at that. Alexander takes that corner really, really well, and they go side by side now. The slug is taking that move.
Looks like he's going to have the inside.
Yeah, great. But immediately Alexander needs to look out, because Francois Schrink and Code Huntley are right behind there, and they're going. Look at this.
This is what you got to think.
Continues.
That is amazing battling.
Side by side,
Peter, look at this.
2 by 2.
Oh, a little bit of a help there
Look at this.
slug.
Oh no, we're gonna do this 3 wides. Are we gonna? No, we're not. And Cody Huntley is actually taking that position back and is now up to 13th position. Nisa can have a look if he can actually.
He's gonna go.
Oh, that is Alexander Carver who that's really difficult to keep that going on.
Slap, Wojciech Sredovic and Jorge Zuniga, James Carr, Logan McKenzie have all received the white flag.
Wow. So this is the last lap. This is the chance where we can actually see something happening. I think that top 5 with Sredovic, Zuniga, Carr, McKenzie, Wally, Bajulas, Method, that will happen. But a little bit further back in that, Matthew Zepka for position number 7. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's trying to battle around in method here. This is definitely one of the better. The other battle, we haven't focused on them. We mentioned them just a little bit before, but you gotta wonder when Matt's gonna make that, because we already talked about you can't make it too late in the lap. That's just not gonna work. So if he's gonna try to make something happen, it's got to be now in the next few turns.
But where do you need to have this happen?
Well, you
gotta outbreak.
Yeah, you've got to outbreak him on the entry to the corkscrew right at the top of the hill.
Exactly. We'll see if he can make that happen. But
Tim, you've seen me attempt and fail here.
I did, and Matt Zepka is also not making that move yet. I think he's a little bit too far away. I don't think he can make that move happening.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
And when we see that, then I want to see what Rhodes is going to do for that position number 11. Is he going to make a move on Stroll? He was there a couple of times, but he's just fallen out of that top 10 and is now 11th.
Zuniga crossed the finish line. James Carr, Logan McKenzie, finishing in that order: 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Excellent.
All right, and how is Matt Zepka going to do? Is he going to make that unbelievable move? No, well, he is trying.
No.
He's going wide.
He tried.
He tried, and I think that's a celebration one. Position number 8, great work from Matt Zepka from Torque Steering. Will bring a lot of points home for his teammates. And who do we see coming in? Ray Bartnikowski, also from that same team. Jonathan Stroll, Justin Rhodes, Cole Huntley. Francois Schink had made a lot of positions up, is back up to 13th. We see the Slug. What happened to the Slug? The Slug actually went into the pit. The
He
Slug
went down to pit
into the
road.
pit, and he's missing out on quite a bit of positions. Carver with that last move all the way to 17th, and yeah, that's basically the whole
Holy cow.
pack coming in. Travis Lapad, David Brenner, Jake Ashe. Jake Ashe, when are we going to see a good race from you here in the ATC? Such a great driver to see, Jake, always, and really learning this car. Slowly comes up. I think 20th position is one of his best scores so far. I do have to say, you gotta love that orange.
Absolutely. And just ahead of him, too, by the way, David Brenner up 17 spots. Travis Lapanis, who finished in P18 just ahead of him, up 15 spots. So both of those drivers having a fantastic final feature race.
And I saw more people going into the pit. So I actually think that somebody didn't expect it anymore, that we're going that far in. And guys, we're not looking at a black screen. This is actually our introduction camera. We're looking at the whole screen, but it's become really dark up here, and we don't see that much going on anymore. I'm going to see if we can see some gridding going on. This is like, wow. We don't see any cars. We don't see anything on this track.
You don't see the winner doing donuts at the start finish line?
No idea how what happened over there. But let's have a quick look at the results while we look at some replays. This is not the right one because this is just a consolation. We're actually looking at the results of our feature race. And there it is. Wojciech Sredovic on that first position. George Zuniga on the second one. Congratulations for him. I think he scored a lot of points in this race. And then James Carr, Logan McKenzie, Jacob Wally, Jerome Bajulas, Ronald Mathot, and Matt Zepka, Ray Bartnikowski, and number 10, Jonathan Stroll. Justin Rhodes didn't make it to that top 10, but should be happy about that 11th position. And then we see Cody Huntley, Francois Schink, August Blondel, Sean Gert, and Alexander Kars. The Slug 17th, and then Travis Lapin. So yeah, that's a bit our race up here. exciting to see everything happening.
Yeah, man, what a great battle across all three races. I really do love the heat structure. I'm glad that the Alpha Touring Challenge does this and mixes it up just a little bit. We have the longer races like Sebring, kind of the homage to the longer endurance races with the 1.2 hours. And then we do something like this and just really mix it up. I love the inverts. It keeps it super interesting. And these drivers put on a heck of a show. I do think this has that Bristol or Daytona feel to it, where there's probably going to be some strong emotions. I don't know how else to put it. Following this one, I cannot wait to see the Discord in Discord, what happens here. But either way, we really enjoyed watching it, and congratulations to all the drivers for putting on a heck of a show.
Yeah, no, it's a great community that we're lucky to have a chance to broadcast these races. And I don't know if it's us or something else, but it becomes really popular. And it's great to see 30 drivers every Monday practicing, have done their practicing, know what they need to do, and give this amazing show. So great shout out for all these teams. Do we have anything else that we need to have a look at?
Yeah.
Or,
Really quick, I want to talk to Ray Bartnikowski, who joined us in the interview waiting room here. He had a fairly silent night from our perspective, but worked his way up, and in the final race was able to gain 5 positions and end up in the top 10. An absolutely fantastic position there from the number 2 machine. Ray, talk to us about your evening.
What's up, guys? It was absolute disaster in qualifying. I couldn't put together a clean lap for anything. I ended up starting 33rd, and then it was just try and make up spots. Just get the next guy lap after lap.
Yeah, you did exactly what you needed to do from what I can tell, and kept the nose clean. It's always frustrating having that initial qualifying result, I'm sure, but man, you got to be pretty happy walking away with a 9th place after the feature race.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. I had very low hopes for this track, and this is probably about the best I could do. How's the race from your guys' end?
Absolutely bananas.
one big black hole, I can tell you. We didn't expect that much quick on the night race. I was wondering, were you involved in any, or did you know that was going to be a night race?
We were talking to Slug before the race, and it sounded like it was going to get dark pretty early. Francois had a practice earlier this week, and he was saying it was pitch black, and it took a while to really see what he was talking about. But once I got out, on my own with no other cars around me, the track got pretty dark.
And what did you do for that pit entry? Because that was scary. I don't think you could see much. Tell us a little bit about that.
I was following Matt. I practiced it a couple times in practice. I had a pretty good idea what to expect from there, and all I wanted to do was not hit him.
No, and that worked really well. I love how your team is in this way. I do have to say, Ray, we know that you're making all the liveries of Torque Steer. Great work. How do you come up with those great liveries?
I had an idea that I wanted to do these color chevrons for this season, and Jake came up with the name. I came up with the word mark. Everybody signed off on it, and I just ran with it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I do have to say, appreciate our Cavalcade stickers up there. Love those. Don't want to miss that. Chris, do we have any other drivers in our booth?
Yeah, I'd like to welcome Logan McKenzie back into the booth once again. Happy to have you here, man. And overall, finishing our defending champion, I should say, Logan McKenzie. I didn't mean to disrespect you there, but finished with a 4th position overall after the feature race. What was that like from your perspective? Because it was absolutely crazy from ours.
Yeah, I'll take the 4th position after that race. I had a few incidents on that. Most of it was my own doing. I got a penalty. Well, not a penalty, but a slowdown in the second heat, I believe, which cost me some positions. And in this race, I could have easily had a podium, but I went way off track early in the race. I just went for a little off-road drive, and ended up costing me at the end of the race.
Yeah, and Logan, that pit entry is a dangerous one. That pit entry in dark is even more dangerous. But going there with two people, tell us about that. How was that pit entry for you?
So I didn't know, I had passed that same car like a lap earlier, so I figured he had already pitted or something like that. I definitely did not expect him to go in with me, because I was on my last lap of fuel, and I was like the last car on track that hadn't pitted as far as I knew. So I had practiced a pit entry like 5 times in practice, wanted to nail it, wanted to nail the hairpin, and what he did was he ended up pushing my braking point about like 50 meters back, and if that hadn't happened, I might have been ahead of James coming out of the pits, and then we might have had a little fight. But it's one position. I can't get too worked up over it. Not his fault he was there, and it still worked out.
Yeah, and Logan, we were talking a little bit about your championship, and yeah, it's not going yet how far you were last season. I've heard you're not talking about changing cars. Any news about that?
Well, I was actually in a different car today, so I've been driving the Veloster the first 2 races of the season, and I just haven't been able to get it to hook up whatsoever. Just doesn't fit my driving style, so I swapped back to the Elantra tonight. Felt so much better, even on the scorchingly hot track. It felt like I had no problems getting it to turn in. So I credit. I mean, the first 2 weeks I was over a half second off of my teammate Slug in qualifying, and today I was within a tenth of him. So
you were there, yeah. Great. Well, good to see you back up here, and I think the Slug had a very, very interesting race. I would love to hear from him, but I don't think he's in the booth right now. We should get more of those drivers back up here, guys. Wanna give a shout out. I'm really always curious about your stories up here. Ray, any shout outs from your perspective?
Shout out to my teammates. Matt Shepka getting the top 10. I think Torque Steer's still in front in points.
Yeah, so how important is that for you guys? The team standings?
I can't believe we're up so far. It feels pretty good.
Yeah, it feels very, very good. And Logan, how's that for you? You only have 2 team members, so you have to work a little bit harder, but you do have the Slug, one of your best teammates. Are you looking into that team championship?
Yeah, so there's definitely a smaller margin of error for us, even though the top 2 cars in each team are the only ones that actually score points for each team. That still means both cars have got to bring home a good finish, and it's either been Slug or me that just hasn't been on it. We haven't been able to both hook up a race, so hopefully we can do that and make up some ground to Torque Steer, because between those guys, especially Matt, I mean, big credit to Matt. He's made a huge leap forward this season.
Yeah, no, he definitely does, and had some small incidents in the beginning, but really came hard and came strong back. It's great to see, but it's great to see the whole track. I have to say, the whole community and all the drivers. Ronald Madhot, Jonathan Stroll. Let's have a look. Of course, one of my favorite drivers, Justin Rhodes, does a really amazing job. We see a lot of new drivers coming in, so it's great to have all these new drivers. And a 30 pack, you can't ask much for much more in the league.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Logan, any shout outs for you?
Oh, just the usual shout out to you guys for the broadcast. Shout out to Slug for being a good teammate. We had some good back and forth at the end of, I believe it was the second heat where we were right next to each other. The gap behind us was big, so I was like, hey, I'm not going to make this easy on you, and if I had another lap, we could have had some good teammate battling, but I just ran out of time. But yeah, great job by you guys for doing this.
Awesome. Well, great work for you guys and all the drivers practicing this track. Where we're going next, Logan?
That is a good question. You'd think I'd know my own schedule off the top of my head. I think it's Mid-Ohio.
Next week is Mid-Ohio.
Yep, Mid Ohio. That is the track this league has not raced yet, so it should be fun. It's an hour-long
Oh,
race.
wow. Well, we do have an expert for that track. Peter, you know that track very, very well. Am I right?
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorites. I've driven it, of course, many times in iRacing, but also many, many laps in real life. And I think these cars will be perfectly suited for the track. But I also think, just like Laguna Seca, Mid Ohio is going to be another elbows out track
Nice,
for these
nice.
cars. I'm expecting just as much door banging there as we saw here tonight.
All right, I'm already looking for it, Peter. You know how to bring up a teaser. That's great work. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that. Chris, any last words from your view?
Not at all, man. Just wanted to say thanks to all the drivers for putting on once again a heck of a show, and to all the people who are out there watching with us. Just big howdy. Thanks for supporting, and looking forward to watching Mid Ohio with all of you again next Monday night.
Yeah, and then next Monday it's the ATC, but of course BRL, our bonfire race, will be our second playoff race on Sunday. So that's going to be exciting, and of course the Sunday night Skippy, which is always a blast. So yeah, we will have to wait a little bit for our next coming broadcast. But thanks a lot for watching Cav OK Racing Network, and we would love to see you in this week.